from the internet, it's the BTB Internet Talk Show. Special guests, Pandemonium, Dean Martin. If you've got the internet, you get a talk show. Here's your host, Mr. BTB himself, Scott Curtis.
BTB Internet Talk Show. We're back. I was supposed to be back last week, but I had technical problems. I haven't even had time to get out of my work clothes, kids. It's only 6 o'clock here Central Time, and it was a long day. So I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. And I've got people stopping in already. Anyway, so tonight is going to be about as shitty as a show usually is. So we're just gonna I'm gonna chat with new friends, old friends. I've given a few folks the opportunity to drop in if they want to. If they don't want to, then I'll just talk. So it's just the way it's gonna go. I do want to let you know that I'm drinking some sort of whiskey and Diet Pepsi in a Disney glass that we got when we took the kids there in 1990 something. I know one of them was 3 or 4 years old, and the other one was like 1 or 2. Anyway, so that's what I'm drinking. But in addition to that, I'm drinking my new sponsor's drink, and I'm doing the sparkling version of the Liquid Death water. It is water that will steal your soul. So I'm really enjoying this Liquid Death. I'm passing it around at work, and everybody's liking water out of a can. And golly, they're giving me money to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it. I will tell you that they donate 10% of all their profits to cleaning up plastic shit. So all the plastic that's out there, they are donating money to clean that stuff up to save the turtles. So that's one thing they do. The other thing they do is you can actually sell your soul to them, and you just go sign a contract and just give them your soul, and then you get all the merch first, and you get special edition merch. So I'm signed up for that. They've got a really weird marketing campaign that includes me, and they don't care if you say fuck. So it's really nice that I'm on that one. So it's Liquid Death. It's sparkling or regular water in the white can, and you can get it at 7-Eleven, Whole Foods, Publix, and I think that is it, unless you go to their website, and you will get free shipping if you order 2 cases, and they'll give you free stuff too. Use the code Scott Curtis, all one word, Scott Curtis, to get 2 free koozies with your Liquid Death water. Gosh, I sound like a real host for just a second there. Anywho, I've got people that I need to bring out because I can't stand listening to myself talk anymore. So let's bring everybody out. First, we got Chipp Jones. Chipp Jones, our first time to interact as 2 human beings live in a room at different parts of the country. So Chipp,
exactly.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Golly, I said, I've seen your name. I've seen some of your posts and stuff, but oddly enough, we've never crossed paths. So I'm glad you hopped on.
Thank you. Yeah, that's that Liquid Death. That's interesting that you can now sell your soul online. I remember when you used to have to sign in blood, so you actually had to be in the room to do it.
Yeah, all you got to do is click a button now.
Wow, look at that.
I mean, I sent him some of my blood too, but that's just because I wanted to. Let's bring up one of my old friends, Joel Brill. It's really nice to know that I think I've got 2 people in here older than me. So, that's usually not the case. Joel, how's it going?
It's going really well.
Yeah.
Really well. Yeah. I wish this COVID thing was over, but otherwise, yeah.
No doubt. You look like you've lost more weight since the last time I saw you.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm down about 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's great.
I know where it is.
Yeah.
right here.
Well, Chipp, you must have lost 10, 15 pounds when you cut your hair.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Now I'm going to bring up one of my true IRL friends. That means in real life for you kids. My IRL friends from the South Bend area. My buddy Jason Staples. Hello,
What's up?
Jason, Mr. Plus Dinosaurs on
Hey,
Instagram.
yes. Follow me on Twitter. How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Good to be here.
Fantastic. It looks like you got a haircut.
I did. I got a cut like last month or something, and I feel like a new person. I went, I think, a year and 7 months without cutting it. It was. I mean, when it's really started to heat up everywhere, it got to be a thing, and I just had to go get it cut.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look good. You look good.
Thanks very much.
The long hair as well. So
Thanks.
I don't want to take away from that.
For sure.
My own hair issues occurred around, I think, May of last year when I wasn't going to go to a barber, and no matter how I comb my hair, it looked like a comb over. So I decided to just take it all off. And I've got stubble. I'm thinking about even just doing away with the stubble and seeing what the old chrome dome looks like.
That could be cool. I think maybe after this starts to grow out to where I'm not able to tolerate it anymore, I may just start buzzing it.
Yeah.
The downside is you can't buy any tiki torches if you do that.
That's true. That's very true. It's very true. Or I have to be very careful about, how I hold them and where I have them.
Right. No Doc Martens. You can't wear Doc Martens.
No white laces, for sure. No white laces.
I'm still wearing my work shoes. I didn't even take my shoes off. I ran in so fast.
I got my work from home socks on.
What do you do for your day job?
I transcribe all kinds of medical stuff, paperwork.
Hey, Teddy Wrinkle.
I
don't know what chat you're in either because you're on Twitch, young man. You're on Twitch. I see the Twitch guy. Hi,
it sounded like you said Titty Wrinkle. But that was Teddy.
Scott, what do you do for a day job?
So previously, when I was in the northern Indiana region, I worked 16 years for a managed services company as a consultant and account manager, and now I am in Huntsville doing the what is it? It's a cybersecurity consulting. So total new shift for an old dog, and I'm really loving it. It's an office job. I'm not on the road all day, and I've got plantar fasciitis in both feet, so when I drive a lot, it hurts. So my wife, my lovely wife, who I drugged down here with me, my wife, who I drugged down here with me, is working remote at her old job that she's been at for 18 years. She told me, she said, you're not going to be able to adjust to an office job because you're a road warrior and you're a lone wolf, blah, blah, blah. I'm okay. I'm doing okay.
There are donuts in the break room. Yay!
Yeah. So interesting you say donuts, because one of my claims to fame at my previous job that I mentioned, 16 years, I never ate a donut at my job. And we have some donuts called Rise and Roll in that area that are just to die for. And I decided I had lost a bunch of weight. I was kind of on the same type of journey as Joel, and I'd lost a bunch of weight before I started working there. Well, actually, it was a little bit after. And I decided I just wasn't going to eat snacks at work, except for one guy. His wife made these things called moo pies that are kind of like moon pies. He would bring those in, and I would eat one of those, but I never ate a donut. So this kid that works at our place brings in these donuts called Bigfoot's donuts, and they're these little tiny donuts, but they're filled with like wonderful things. And I went ahead and ate one. It was I think it was a cookies and cream. And he had 3 different flavors there, of course. He brought 4 boxes in, and I ate one, and then I had to try all the other ones. And now he's bringing it in once a week, and I'm eating 4 donuts, nice. 4 tiny donuts a week.
So he hooked you.
Yeah.
He hooked you.
Yeah.
You're an addict now. You're an addict.
So I'm going to gain everything Joel lost.
He's going to
once
start
you get hooked, they're
charging
going to try. Yeah, exactly.
right.
They're going to start
It's like
jacking up the
drug dealers.
price.
Get you on the comeback.
the first 4 are free.
That's right.
Oh.
You'll be chasing the
Poor
dragon,
Scott's
the
going to be
donut dragon pretty
in
soon.
an alley doing unmentionables for donuts. It's terrible. Terrible.
Oh, here. Well, let's, I came into this with no subjects to talk about. And here I got Teddy. If I may ask a question of the group, what advice would you give to a 10-year-old you? For me, I would say, okay, 10 years old, don't do anything different. I smoked my first joint when I was 12, so I wasn't quite there yet, but I think I had drank some vodka at 10, and I am glad I did everything I did because it led me to where I'm at. I don't do regrets. I was really self-conscious about the fact that I grew so much in such a short period of time, because I went from like 5 foot to 6 foot in like 2 years. And I went from 6 foot to 6'5" in a year. So I was self-conscious about that because I weighed like 165 pounds and looked like a Pez dispenser. So, I would have gotten rid of that self-consciousness and known that I was going to grow up to be the handsome fellow you see now, and know that I was going to get a chick. Can I still say chick? I can say it to her, but nobody else.
That's right.
That's really the only advice I'd give myself. What about you guys?
I would have a discussion with myself about compound interest.
Yes.
10-year-old, that's the perfect place to start. Compound interest.
Okay, Dave Ramsey. That's great. Hey, Jason, what would you tell your 10-year-old self?
You got to start drinking water, less Kool-Aid, way less Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You don't need to have that Snickers bar every time you and your mom go to Martin's. You don't have to do that every time. So just stop with the Snickers, maybe do once a month at the very most, and drink water and stop drinking, put the Kool-Aid down.
Yeah.
And don't be scared of people that don't look like you, because they're not like they are in the movies.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Don't drink before 21, and and drink water if I didn't already say that.
Yeah. So
and buy Amazon stock.
Yeah, no doubt. And Microsoft. Well, you were too
Yeah,
you're
and
too young
Apple.
for Microsoft. Yeah. So this is inside, but how old were you when the first Gremlins came out?
I was let me see, that was 84, is that correct?
I believe so.
So I was 5.
Wow.
Okay. It's funny because Jason's first of all, he's a horror movie aficionado along with myself and our buddy Mike.
Yeah.
But Gremlins especially, I think he knows everything about it, can recite it, and is very conscious of the fact that they didn't leave a tip for Phoebe Cates. Was that her name?
Yep.
Yeah. When they were patrons of the restaurant, but that's when they became bad Gremlins. So yeah.
Gremlins is considered a horror? Is that?
It's kind of in the genre.
Yeah, it straddles the fence, I would say.
It's horror adjacent, if not 100%. Well, I guess not 100% horror. Even though I guess it is implied that the Gremlins do kill people.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on how old you were, because in '84, I was in college, and it was more of a comedy to me, horror.
Yeah.
It was a weird movie because it straddled so many lines. It had the comedy, it had the
gore,
the gore, but it just had fluffy gremlins, so it had that animated type feel to it. But it also explored dark areas too. So it was really
the second one was as light as it was. as goofy as it was, because some of the people at the studio after it came out was like, oh, like it's kind of dark. I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
Especially with the Christmas Story, that made it a lifetime movie. You know, you can cry at that. So.
So Joel, do you even remember when you were 10?
I do very well.
Oh, okay.
I have a really good. My memory is actually scary.
Oh man.
I would tell the 10-year-old me, in 12 years, you're going to meet a girl named Susie Smythe. Don't let her get away.
Yeah.
But other than that, just enjoy as much of every day you can. I mean, just have as much fun, and grown-ups aren't always right. And you should have used better ropes so Susie Smythe couldn't get away.
Now that's dark.
Speaking of dark, if you guys are horror guys, nobody's ever seen this movie, and it was one of the scariest movies I ever saw. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Anybody see this?
Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
When I was a kid, it came out.
That was Vincent Price, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
I believe so.
And it was dark, but it had humor as well. If I'm remembering the same movie, it was color, but it was early color, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. This took place on a train. Is that this?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah. There's a House of Horrors, but this is Dr. Terror's House of Horrors.
Okay.
And the house was actually a deck of tarot cards. And I mean, I couldn't sleep for days.
Oh, I'll have to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I that's the only genre I'll watch just about any movie, no matter how bad, just so I can see what movie they are doing callbacks from. I just like to see who inspired them, even if it's a bad movie. Did anybody see the Nick Cage movie where he is battling this house of fun where all the stuff is demonic and it attacks him?
I don't think so.
So I think you actually had to pay. I think I paid like $4.99 to watch it on Amazon, and I'm glad I did. He has no dialogue. He never says a word.
So it's recent.
Yeah, I think it's still up there on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
But he basically is supposed to clean up this house of fun for kids, but the owner sold his soul to the demons and let the demons take over all of the attractions, like the funny rabbit and the clown and all that kind of stuff, and they just come to life and start attacking him, and he burns it all to the ground. And I'm giving spoilers anyway. He doesn't talk. He doesn't talk at all through the movie, but his expressions, and I don't care what you say about Nick Cage. He does shitty movies, but I will watch every single shitty movie he's in just to see one piece of genius from him.
I could watch that Gone in 60 Seconds remake with him all day. The movie, I don't know. It's like a warm blanket.
So I got to say, Teddy is just like running the show for me, and I appreciate it. Teddy, I don't know you, but I want to know you. So look at this. If you could be a character in any book, which book character would you pick and why? I'll start off like I did last time. I would be the gunslinger in the Stephen King Gunslinger series. A long series, lots of books, and it took me like 20 years to get through them. But yeah, I would be the gunslinger Roland in that, because he is a tortured soul, and so am I. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. And I gave a why because of the tortured soul thing. Next,
I have been always partial to this character, Eric Lusbader. There was an author, Trevigny, who wrote Shibumi, and Go. It's a series of novels about this half American, half Korean, almost like the movie Kung Fu. He was a trained ninja. Trevanier was best known for writing the sanction movies like Eiger Sanction and Lou Sanction. That Clint Eastwood did the Lou Sanction as a movie. But he did this other series of novels about this master ninja, because this guy was like, he was, sort of like the James Bond of Korea. So I guess
that's cool.
He was a modern day ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read most of his books. I way back when. I loved his stuff.
Yeah.
And I love Shibumi.
Yeah, Shibumi was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll have to check those out. How about you, Joel?
I got a hard time answering that because I read a lot and there's a lot of great characters out there. Harry Bosch is, one of my favorite current characters. Yeah. And there's some more obscure ones that, are the kind of guys that just kick ass and they're very unassuming and they always end up walking in trouble. There's so many books like that and characters, but because that's kind of what I like to read.
Have you watched any of the Harry Bosch on Amazon?
Watched it all.
Yes,
I remember.
My wife and I did too.
I remember when
they did a good job.
Did they? Because I need to watch it because I remember when it started and I was like, oh, I really want to see how they did. And now I think it's like 5 seasons. I haven't seen a single one.
And they're done. And
how did that happen?
Was the last, and it was a great ending. And they did the books justice. Movies don't do books justice most of the time.
Yeah.
And Bosch was great. And, I loved the chief of police in Jaws as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I read that book on the beach where the book took place.
Oh wow.
No kidding. That's like Inception, I think.
That's where I grew up. It's a fictitious town, but it takes place a fictitious village in a town. I grew up in that town.
Gotcha.
And it scared the crap out of me. I lived on the ocean. I grew up on the ocean. I was a lifeguard, and I've been scared stiff ever since I read that book.
Yeah, I think the ocean's terrifying. I think it's
I was a surfer, a diver, and everything else, and now I get in the ocean, and I'm like, what touched me?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I love the ocean, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I love it too. Me too. Joel, I wanna talk about the Bosch series because we watched it religiously. I mean, how they put all the episodes out? We usually had them done within 2 or 3 days. But you have to know that I am really not ever into anything 100% like Marvel movies and stuff like that, comic books. I'm not. And the one thing that I've never understood is Easter eggs. So when they hide something in plain sight and stuff like that. Well, in Bosch, this last season, there's an Easter egg, and I found it totally by accident. So he's got, and I think it may have been like the 5th or 6th episode of this last season, when he walks out, he's with his daughter, and he walks out onto the patio, I believe. There's a movie poster there, and it has the name of a movie, and I can't remember the name of the movie. And I'm like, that's weird. They made that awful prominent. So I looked up the name of the movie, and it's a movie that came out, I think, in the 80s or something like that, and it was based on the Bosch books. So it's a total Easter egg turnaround, and I'm in bed with my wife, and I'm like, I found an Easter egg for once in my life, and nobody is going to care. So,
what movie was it?
I can't remember the name of the movie. It said it was based on Bosch, but I can't remember the name of the movie.
Was Clint Eastwood the character?
No, it's not Dirty Harry.
No.
The one Play Misty for Me?
No. He was He played a Bosch character. He retired and lived on a boat, and he had the FBI girlfriend. And
it's the called The Black Echo. It came out in 2002.
Black
actually.
Echo. That's a great book.
Yeah. Yeah. So that poster was up there, and I'm like, they were on it too long. It was just one of those things where they panned onto it too long, and I'm like, that's got to be something. I looked it up, and it's such a small victory, and my wife just doesn't care. So I'm like, I found an Easter egg for the first time in my life.
It's great.
So Jason, what character in a book would you want to be?
I've been thinking about this, and I would be the Hungry Caterpillar. 100%, because that was one of my favorite books when I was a little kid. So I would be Hungry Caterpillar.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Teddy, for giving me a couple things to talk about, because I just don't have time for that shit anymore. So I am really glad that you gave us a couple talking points, but I gotta tell you that moving down here was interesting. I stayed with my son because I came down first. I got the job first, and I stayed with my son for a couple months. And first of all, I learned that I've become a minimalist. I don't care about anything except for what can fit in one suitcase. So I've completely purged everything that I don't need. And we purged before we moved, and I purged again. So I basically need 1 or 2 pairs of jeans, a couple T-shirts, and the clothes I wear to work. That's all I need. So and some shorts because I live in Huntsville. But that was great. And we bought a house, and we lost a house because it appraised for so much higher than we were going to pay for it that I wouldn't do it. And we are actually apartment dwellers for the first time in about 34 years. So, I have to say that I don't hate apartment dwelling as much as I thought I would, because you go out the door and you lock it and you're done. And it has a beautiful pool. It has a sauna, has a hot tub. And when we go hiking in the mountains, we can come back and take a dip in the pool and be refreshed. So I signed a 6-month lease. I don't know how long we'll be here. It may be for the rest of our lives. So that's good. But the point I'm getting at is I had Dean Martin as a house guest for over a year, and you know what? He likes me so much that he came down to Huntsville with me, and he is staying in our guest bedroom, and we've got a brand new mattress for him, and he is just as pleased as punch to be in Huntsville and eating redneck burritos and all that kind of stuff.
What's a redneck burrito?
Pork rinds. They're called pork rinds.
Actually, it's pulled here. It's pulled pork and barbecue sauce and some onions. That's grilled onions. That's about it. That's what I had for dinner last night, actually. But it's been so long since I've looked for these things. I got to find my. Oh, that's not it. Where are you, Dean? No, that's not it. Dean. Oh, did I delete it?
No.
Anyhow, okay, we're gonna do this.
Oh, did he just drop out altogether? There he is.
Go.
Hey,
there we go. There we go.
It's Scott me, Curtis? Dean Martin in Huntsville, Alabama. Dean Martin here. What's up? I gotta say, Huntsville is swinging, kids. It's a swinging town. There's traffic. There's a lot of vape shops. It's a great place to be, Huntsville. So this is the point in the show where all of you cats who don't know anything about Dean Martin can ask Dean anything. And if Scott could have found the graphic, that's what it would say. Ask Dean anything. But here I am. I'm ready to talk to you. It's me, Dean Martin. Hey.
Hey. Well, I know Dean as the black guy here. I'm Sammy, I guess. So
Sammy was cool.
Sammy was cool. Sammy kept his eye on Dean because he only had the one eye, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
He always kept an eye out.
So it's time to ask Dean anything. I don't know who Ben is, but Ben is saying just punch a bunch of buttons and and format C.
Oh no, don't format C colon.
I know enough about computers that that's a bad thing to do.
That reminds me of a story I'm gonna tell right now. A couple of my friends, I have a friend who's a computer guy, and then I have a friend who was definitely not a computer guy at the time. And he said to my buddy who's a computer guy, he said, how do I get my mom's computer to run faster? And he said, without thinking about it, he goes, just format your C drive.
Oh, nice.
And he goes, really? And he goes, yeah, just format C colon, just put it in a DOS. He's like, cool. And he did it and like erased all of his mom's college papers. And like, it was.
Hey, what's a computer?
Boom.
FYI, I died in 95 when Windows 95 came out. It's me, Dean Martin.
Coincidence? I think not.
No.
Dean, what did you think of Windows Me or Windows XP?
I was cryogenically frozen at that time.
Cryogenically frozen. Have you?
Yeah, they brought me back in Windows 7 age, right when I was going to 10.
Were you in Were you in that movie? I can't think of the name now. Stallone and Snipes. What was that? Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
The cryogenically frozen people in that.
Yeah, it wasn't actually me. I was cryogenically frozen in Idaho, actually, and I don't know why, but
because it gets so cold there. Right?
Yeah,
they put you in the mine with the potatoes, right?
Yep. Really cool. Yep. Man, I got audience members asking me a question. Hey, it's me, Dean Martin. Which is your favorite Matt Helm girl and why? I'm going to say, I don't remember if Angie Dickinson was one or not, but I'm going to say Angie Dickinson.
I don't remember her in the Matt Helm movie.
She probably wasn't, but what the hell? I loved Angie.
I'm going to say Scarlet Witch.
All right. I don't remember the movies Dean, I was in.
Dean, did you ever do a cameo in Futurama? I think everybody's been in there. I don't know if did they bring you back for Futurama?
Of course. I played one of what's his name's tentacles. It was not a voice part.
They didn't put your head in a jar like Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah, I just had the slither. It's me, Dean Martin.
Slytherin.
Hey, Dean, have you been to the Space and Rocket Center now that you're in Huntsville? Have you taken the tour? Actually,
yes. And I did the tour where the old guys in white coats tell me what they invented. And it was a lot of fun, and talked to a gentleman for a while, and I said, hey, I'm Dean Martin. And he said, you don't look like Dean Martin. I say, well, being frozen makes you ugly.
Takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it does.
Do you still talk to DN?
DN, you're killing me here. Dwight Knight.
These nuts.
Oh, these nuts. No, but I'm cool AF. Always and forever, baby.
You talk to Jerry Lewis at all?
JL.
So let me tell you about Jerry. First off, he was as bad as everybody says. And second off, he did not throw his back out fucking Marilyn Monroe. He threw his back out when we were doing a show in the Catskills, and he did a double turnabout round kick thing that threw his back out, and the whole Marilyn Monroe thing is just something that he made up. It's me, okay. Dean Martin.
I heard the real story is he threw his back out fucking Phyllis Diller, and that's not true. That's not.
Could
running away from her.
Could be. I know he was walking pretty bad after that show in the Catskills. I tell you what, I love more than anything is awkward silences, and man, this is really going well.
What are you drinking there?
I'm drinking Scotch drink. It's some sort of whiskey and Diet Pepsi.
Oh, nice.
What other drink have you got with you? Wink, wink.
Oh, well, I've got, hey, it's me, Dean Martin. Thanks, Chip. It's me, Dean Martin, and I'm drinking Liquid Death water because, you know what? I died, so drinking Liquid Death is no big thing to me.
What? How much does a case of that run? If I wanted to get a case of that, how much would it run me?
$12.99.
$12.99. That's including shipping.
That's including shipping if you buy 2 cases and use the code Scott Curtis to get two free cool koozies.
How long does that take usually when it's like from placing the order and receiving it?
IDK because I'm sorry, that's short for you kids. I don't know. It's I took the sponsorship and I bought cases. No, Scott bought cases. Sorry, I'm trying to get myself into the third person again. Scott bought cases and and then all of a sudden 4 cases showed up at his doorstep. So
I'll Google it. It's all good.
You threw me there a little, Dean, because usually when you're talking about 2 free koozies, you're talking about something totally different.
I like the ladies.
And the ladies like you.
Okay, it's me, Dean Martin, again, and Teddy Wrinkle's just going nuts here. Teddy, thank you for answering another, please. What memory instantly makes you smile? Okay, well, as Dean Martin, it's the time that Sammy was actually choking on a piece of spare rib, and I knew the Heimlich maneuver before the Heimlich maneuver was actually invented, and I gave him the Heimlich, and his glass eye actually landed in somebody's drink. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite memories. How about you guys?
Memory instantly makes you smile.
It does, yeah.
I'll go back to Susie Smythe.
You should have tied her up better. Jason, is it the time you, Scott, and Mike sat at that trashy bar in South Bend? I don't remember the name of it. After a shitty open mic and talked about horror movies, because that's one of Scott's. That's all he ever talks about.
I mean, at least one of those I don't remember any of.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rough. I was going through a thing. It was
sounds like somebody's hot pockets are done. What was that?
Yeah, story of my life.
Hot pockets.
Hanging out with Scott Curtis is always the best.
Oh yeah,
he's a cool dude.
It appears that he bogarted something at one point and at a whiskey distillery, and
and I forgot about that. I talked about that at South Bend Whiskey one time.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know it. He just he takes really big drags off of whatever he's doing. Cigar smoker.
Yeah.
How about you, Chip? What memory instantly makes you smile? It's me, Dean Martin.
Probably one of my son. I remember when I was part of running a festival, I brought my son, who was probably about 6 or 7 at the time, and we're in downtown DC, and this guy walks up beside us, and he's just dropping F-bomb after F-bomb. So I figured, hey, teachable moment. When the guy walks away, I turned to my son. I said, that's a bad word, and we don't use that in our family. And so for the rest of the day, he would just walk up to strangers and drop the F-bomb and go, that's a bad word, and we don't use it in our family. So that's when I learned is sometimes you just let things slide. You just don't draw attention to them. It's like...
Let me ask you, Chipp, are you currently in the D.C. area?
I am.
Well, fantastic. My daughter lives in Falls Church, so the next time I'm in town, I'm coming to your house.
Come hang out. Yeah. Well, I actually grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. That's what I consider my hometown. And I would say probably every year from 4th grade to 9th grade, I went to Huntsville, Alabama, because that's a day trip, and you can go to Space and Rocket Center. So
nice.
Everybody always went. Every class, let's go to Huntsville. So.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, it's me, Dean Martin. I'm a little bit peckish because I haven't had anything to eat yet, and all Scott's got in his refrigerator is vegetables. So I'm going to go do a Grubhub. I'm going to go do a Grubhub and see if I can get some Popeye's chicken or something like that because I'm hungry. So I'm gonna take off now.
Oh,
there he goes.
Oh, was Dean?
Was Dean
okay?
Yeah.
He's all
right.
Yeah. He said he was going for food, but we all know he's going for a martini, right?
Yeah. He doesn't like the fact that I've pretty much got Brussels sprouts in the refrigerator, so
Yeah, he prefers distilled potato. That's what he wants.
I do have to say that there's a restaurant here in Huntsville called The Veggie that is a very small vegan restaurant that has the best fried mushroom sandwich I've ever had in my life. It is like this big, and just I had it for lunch, and it was fantastic. So The Veggie, you're not giving me any money, but maybe you'll give me a sandwich next time I come in. But anywho,
I can tell you, if I went there, it would be the very best fried mushroom sandwich I ever had, because it would be the only one.
Yeah. Oh, well, I found my graphics. So this is the time in the show where we say, hey, what's on your mind? And I'm actually going to start because I've got just a small rant. It's a small one. I interviewed a friend of mine from Michigan that actually worked at or went to a comedy contest in Indiana, and during that comedy contest, there were 35 people in the room, and he assumed everybody was vaccinated. However, that wasn't the case. 5 of them were not vaccinated, and one of them had COVID-19 actively while they were there. And 20 of the 35 people were infected with COVID, including 15 people who were vaccinated. So it was probably the Delta variant. And he got pretty sick himself, but not sick enough to go to the hospital. He lost sense of taste and smell, and he was pretty much out of commission for 10 days. The 5 people who were not vaccinated, all 5 people were in the hospital and intubated, and 3 of them have passed away since then.
Wow.
So talking about a control group, I hate to get super serious, but talking about a control group, I think this is a pretty narrow control group, and a case for both getting vaccinated, because everybody who was vaccinated lived, and also a case for guess what? If you're vaccinated, you should probably still wear a mask, because you are either in danger of getting COVID again or transmitting it, because the Delta variant it doesn't care what political party you belong to, and it doesn't care about your rights. It just wants to kill you. So I do want to put that out there because it's going to be a future show, but I want to put it out there because I just want to tell everybody I know that I know that it's hard, and I know that you want to get back to doing what you want to do, and I know you want to go see music. I know you want to go see comedy. I know you want to go do comedy and stuff like that, and go ahead, but please be careful, because I don't want any of my friends to die, and I don't want people to die just because they are tired of being in the house. So that's my thing. Hopefully somebody will lighten it up a little bit, but I want to make sure that gets across, because it is it's scary. I honestly feel like this second wave is going to be worse than the first wave, and we really need to take care of ourselves, because it's starting to hit the kids. It's the old people are getting hit harder because the Delta variant is a stronger variant, and we're going to be in bad shape if we're not careful. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's it.
I agree.
I'll add to it. I've been really comfortable because I was vaccinated and everything else. And I got to tell you, I started booking a lot of shows for September and October, and I've canceled my September shows.
Yeah.
I have underlying health issues, so that contributes to my paranoia. But I'm. You know what? I mean, I'm back getting booked again and doing things, and I had cancer. And a good friend of mine just got out of the hospital, vaccinated last winter, and she was in the hospital for 10 days with the virus.
Yeah.
So, on an upbeat note, I just started about 2 months ago TikTok. And
all right,
I'm having so much fun. I put up 2 videos every day, roughly, and I can't. I'm not a big computer, like stuck on my phone or anything kind of guy. But I just sit there and I laugh out loud at some of people's stuff. I mean, and I've learned things. They've got this do-it-yourself thing or whatever. I freaking love. I'm probably the oldest guy on TikTok. But, it's great.
Have you done the milk crate challenge yet?
No, I'm trying to figure out a way to do. I've got a milk crate in my garage, and I'm trying to think of something to do, like how hard it was to get up on the milk crate.
Yeah.
Well, my milk crate's got stuff in them, so I'm not gonna go buy more and just try it. I thought it seemed a little silly at first. Like I might, give that a little go. Maybe me and my friends. And then the first time I saw someone fall off of one of those, I was like, "Oh no, I'm good."
Yeah.
I jotted down lyrics to that song. I did. My milk crate brings all the boys to the ER.
I love that.
I was thinking, I could do a TikTok to that. I think maybe.
Jeez Louise.
That's fantastic. And I just got to call out Mark. Hey, how many of your non-friends do you want today? That would be 0. Even if I don't like you, I don't want you to die. So, and also you said to lighten it up. Hey, this show goes where this show goes. And so whatever,
I don't want anyone else to die. I'm so tired of this stuff.
You guys are nice. I got a list of people. So.
I mean, I didn't say that I didn't have a list. To be fair, but
I was an early adopter. I got COVID in March of 2020, so I was at the beginning of the wave, which was it was a horrible 2 weeks. It was.
Yeah, I think I did too, but I can't say for certain because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, well, I was clinically diagnosed because they weren't using the tests at that time because they were limited, and it wasn't until later that I went back and had the antibody test. But I was sleeping 22 hours a day. for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I would wake up soaking wet because I couldn't keep my temperature down. I would take a shower. I would pound Gatorade and juice and water because I had no appetite and I couldn't keep anything down.
Oh my Lord.
And it wasn't until like the 14th or 15th day that my fever broke. And then I had to quarantine for an additional 3 days to make sure that I still wasn't disseminating the virus. And then it took me another probably 8 months before I felt regular. At about 4 months after I actually tried to go back to work, I have a computer consulting business. I went down to one of my law offices. I did 2.5 hours of work. I came home and I slept for 17. I was just exhausted.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So it took a while to get back to normal.
Yeah.
Have you been vaccinated?
I have a buddy who's still.
Yeah, I've been vaccinated. Yeah. Interestingly enough, I had a lot of the long haul syndromes until I got vaccinated. Once I got my second shot of the Moderna, all of that stuff went away. But I would have days of just complete fatigue where I could do nothing. Yeah. At 10 months after having it, it was just. But once I got my second Moderna shot, all that stuff seems to have fallen away.
Yeah. I do want to say another thing that's. Go ahead, Joel.
I know a lot of comics that have had it. Yeah. I locked down tight when it happened. And
so did we.
Again, I'm old and I have some health issues.
Yeah. But I did, I've gone back to doing some shows indoor, but Carmia, you guys know Carmia.
Yeah, sure.
She was programming some outdoor shows. So I did some of those, sort of when it was still rampant, which I never had any effect from. So that was pretty good.
So I don't want to brag, but I did do a few open mics when I came down here, and I was actually booked on a show in October, which I'm pretty sure will end up being canceled. But it was pretty funny because the guy who ran the show was pretty standoffish with me and treated me like a first timer, and I came up with my best stuff, and he said, "Oh, so you're like a real comedian," and so that was kind of fun. But I think I did like 4 or 5 open mics, and then when it started getting kind of funky again, I just decided to stay in. So I've got my own mics and stuff like that, but just being indoors is just it's enough. So because the air circulates, so that's where I'm at.
So how do you you're doing the Zoom mics? How do you like doing Zoom mics?
I haven't done a Zoom mic for probably 8 months or so. And we were getting ready for the move and stuff like that, and I had other things occupying my time, so I just put everything into the podcast and didn't do them. I don't hate them like some people do, but I also don't like them. So it's not every time. I think I told somebody it feels like at the end of one that I went on a blind date with somebody I didn't want to go with, and the only time I had fun was when it ended. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. That's why I like to do this talk show, because it's more interactive, and I don't have to have material ready, and I don't have to pause so that it can get to Nevada or wherever it's supposed to go. So yeah, I'm not against them, but I'm not going to actively pursue them.
Yeah, I've done. What am I up to? Probably 700 of them now.
Yeah,
and I have enjoyed them immensely. I think they are different than performing live. When I think of comedy, I think of it as having sort of the 3-ring circus. You've got public speaking and your persona. You've got your writing, and then you've got your act out. And so I think on Zoom you can do 2 of those. You can't really do the act out stuff. I think it has encouraged me to write jokes that are broader. You definitely stay away from writing stuff that's regional or local. you know, and doing comedy like all over the globe, you know, Tokyo, Russia, Kuala Lumpur, you know, India. It adds, I think, an insight, and it broadens your sensibility to comedy.
Yeah,
So
and
I've enjoyed that.
yeah, I totally appreciate them. It's just that, you know, comedy is more of a hobby for me. So if I've got the choice to cuddle up with my bae and watch some reruns of Project Runway or the news show that Tim Gunn is part of called Making the Cut on Amazon, which I highly recommend. Tim, I love you. It's a much better version of Project Runway because there's like no drama. It's all about the fashion, and they do a lot more runway stuff. And Tim Gunn is like my only hero living these days. And you know, we binge Making the Cut actually probably quicker than Bosch. So if I have a choice, I write. So basically, I write premises on my phone. And one thing that changed when I did open mics down here is I used to write things completely out and have my jokes exactly the way I wanted to say them. And then I'd go on stage and not say them the way I wanted to say them because I was freaked out because I was on stage. And what I did when I came down here is I just put premises on the phone, and I knew 4 or 5 premises, and I just went up and tried them. And I felt so free. I felt I felt like it was the way to go. And so now I'm a new comic. I got a new voice. It's different. Yeah,
that's the way Patton Oswalt does his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so it turns out that it works better for me. So we've got the most viewers right now that we've had all night, and we're almost at the end. But hey, does anybody else have anything?
If you are in South Bend area, South Bend, Mishawaka type sitch with your living situation, and you are going to shows and you are looking for something to do this weekend, you should go to the Drop Comedy Club inside a Loft Hotel because this weekend Mary Santora is headlining. She's very funny. She's very, very cool person. And featuring is Farai Gatora, who I've done countless open mics with, and she is fantastic as well. They're both just really, really funny. So you should go there and see a show this weekend, Friday at 9, Saturday 8 and 10. thedropcomedyclub.com. Get tickets. It's going to be really nice. It's going to be a good time.
And they also run the club properly, so everybody is safe and masked and all that kind of stuff. Yep. And gosh, if you're all the way up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the same weekend, Sean Patton is headlining, who's nice. One of my favorites. So
I think I have his phone number.
Yeah. So the Dr. Grins is back in business. So make sure that you safely actually support local comedy because they need it. As long as they're being safe. I know some folks in East Coast that aren't quite doing it right, and I know a couple comics that have boycotted that particular venue because they're not, but some venues are. So just be careful.
You're not naming names. You're not naming names.
Nope, no names. I'm totally agnostic as far as that's concerned.
Just whisper them to me, and I'll be like, "What?" And then I'll just repeat what you said.
What do they rhyme with? That's what we need to know. What do they
do like a Pig Latin thing?
They're in Flu Fleursy. So that's all I can say.
Philadelphia, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard. Florida. I thought it was Florida. No,
yeah. Well, I gotta say, we're at an hour, and I'm tired AF. Always and forever. I am. It's been a long day, but I appreciate you guys coming on. My next show it'll go back to the old structure, and I'll have some questions. I'm really glad that Teddy helped us out tonight because I just I don't have a whole lot of hours left in my day after
this
sleeping.
is so thanks for joining us for Behind Teddy's Brain.
Yeah. And behind the bits, by the way, is still doing very well, and I've got some great comics coming up. I'm not going to name names. Just subscribe to the stupid podcast and listen to it because there's some stuff coming up, and I've got some people that I met doing Zoom comedy, and some people that have been on a talk show. I've also got some people that have specials on Amazon and stuff like that. So it's starting to I'm starting to attract some pretty good folks. Gary Gulman is still ignoring my emails after he said he'd do it later this summer. And Todd Glass actually texted him and said, "Hey, Scott does an okay podcast, but still, I know he's busy, so it's okay, Gary. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. But thanks for being on the show, folks. Thanks for watching. We had a lot of good watchers. Mark, I don't know what you mean about Kuala Lumpur, KL. I don't know, but whatever. Good night, and thanks for